Dick Cheney as acting president, a behind-the-scenes steward of crisis. Dick Cheney, vice president under President George W. Bush, wielded unique and considerable influence during national emergencies, most notably on September 11, 2001, and at strategic moments via the 25th Amendment, official period as acting president. On June 29, 2002, while President Bush underwent a routine colonoscopy, Cheney assumed the full powers of the presidency from 7:09 a.m. to 9:24 a.m. This transfer of authority was formally communicated via a letter to congressional leaders under the 25th Amendment. 9/11, the crucial hours, inside the PEOC bunker. As hijacked airliners reached U.S. soil, Cheney was ushered to the Presidential Emergency Operations Center. Senior advisor Mary Matalin recalled, "We had never seen anything like that." In order to shoot down hostile aircraft, fearing that additional hijacked planes were en route to Washington, Cheney authorized guards to shoot down U.S. commercial airliners. Karl Rove later recounted, "He said yes. Then he said, 'You have my authorization.'" Cheney himself later affirmed that he responded without hesitation when asked, "Did our fighter pilots have authority to shoot down an American commercial airliner believed to have been hijacked?" His reply, "Yes." Voices from the field. Karl Rove, senior Bush advisor, confirmed Cheney's swift decision-making during the crisis. Mary Matalin, Cheney advisor, provided dramatic insight into the urgency inside the bunker. 9/11 Commission. Cheney and Bush both testified privately before the commission in April 2004, clarifying actions taken during the attacks, expanded vice presidential authority. Cheney became a forceful architect of post-9/11 executive power. He aggressively pushed for enhanced presidential authority, intelligence surveillance, NSA wiretapping, and the controversial Enhanced Interrogation Program. Critics argued these policies threatened civil liberties. James Mann in The Atlantic described a defining shift. Cheney cared not about creating new institutions, but about increasing the overall power of the executive branch. After 9/11, the restraints were off. Leading the war on terror. Cheney was an early and vocal advocate for the 2003 Iraq invasion, asserting, "There is no doubt that Saddam Hussein now has weapons of mass destruction." Though later disproven, this declaration was consequential in building political momentum for war. Reflective quotes from Cheney, "I worked for George Bush. I'm proud to have worked for him." On national security. "You can have peace, or you can have freedom, but you can't have both." These quotes highlight Cheney's understanding of the scope of executive authority and the trade-offs in the post-9/11 era. Legacy and testimony. Cheney remains the most powerful vice president in U.S. history. Peak popularity soared to 68% in the wake of 9/11. Criticisms emerged over civil rights, congressional oversight, intelligence manipulation, and torture policies. Senators and legal scholars later questioned the constitutionality of Bush-Cheney domestic surveillance policies. Summary. The Silent Sentinel. Dick Cheney's tenure as acting president on June 29, 2002 may have been brief, but his role on September 11, 2001, and throughout Bush's presidency was substantial. He decisively safeguarded the Capitol with shoot-down authority. He reshaped executive power, often drawing fire from civil libertarians. He decisively drove the narrative behind both the war on terror and the Iraq conflict. Dick Cheney's influence provides a stark window into how vice presidential power can shift from ceremonial to central during a national crisis. His time as de facto acting president and crisis manager, especially following 9/11, shook the foundations of the office and the American political landscape. This article draws solely on verified factual testimonials, official transcripts, and direct quotations.